You've probably heard a lot of information about protein. So, in this video, my goal is to simplify and condense the most reliable and science-based information to provide definitive answers to all the questions you've ever had about proteins. Let's start with the first one. Daily protein quantity? For overall health, the World Health Organization recommends just 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or 0.36 grams per pound. So, an 80-kilogram person, or roughly 180 pounds, would only need about 65 grams of protein per day. This is easily achieved on a typical Western diet. However, this recommendation doesn't take into account those aiming for hypertrophy, and many protein experts call for an increase, given the abundance of evidence showing health benefits with higher protein intake. Sports nutrition research is clear in demonstrating that this amount of protein simply won't be sufficient to support, let alone maximize, muscle growth. For that goal, we'll need more protein. The required amount depends on whether you're gaining mass, losing weight, or undergoing a recomposition phase, and these ranges apply to both men and women. If you're bulking, your body is well fed, meaning it's less likely to break down muscle tissue as a fuel source. Here, the best research recommends 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram, or 0.7 to 1 gram per pound per day. If you weigh 80 kilograms or 180 pounds, you'd want something between 125 and 180 grams of protein per day during the bulking phase. On the other hand, if you're cutting, your body is not only getting fewer calories from food, but you also have less body fat and less glycogen as fuel reserves. Therefore, your body is much more likely to break down muscle tissue as a source of calories. To offset this, the best data suggests increasing protein intake during weight loss to 1.8 to 2.7 grams per kilogram, or 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound. Thirdly, in a recomposition phase, you're trying to build muscle and lose fat at the same time while adjusting your calories around maintenance intake. I believe most people can simply use the same protein amounts as during bulking because at maintenance, you're also at low risk of muscle loss, as long as your training is correct. However, there may be some advantages to slightly increasing protein intake during a recomposition phase, especially if you're in a slight deficit or more advanced. How much protein can the body absorb per meal? The answer to the question of how much protein the body can absorb in a single meal is essentially all the protein content. The body has the ability to absorb a substantial amount of protein in a single meal, even more than someone could comfortably consume. However, absorption specifically refers to the passage of nutrients from the small intestine into the bloodstream. Just because the protein is being absorbed doesn't necessarily mean it's being used for muscle building. The crucial question is how much protein can be effectively utilized in a single meal, and this is an area of some controversy. Early research suggested that 20 to 25 grams of protein in a single meal were sufficient to maximize the anabolic response, and exceeding this amount did not provide additional benefits for muscle growth. However, I approach this figure with skepticism. Anecdotal evidence from the intermittent fasting community, which often consumes 50 to 100 grams of protein in 1 or 2 daily meals, challenges the notion that most of the protein is wasted. Recent studies have also questioned the 20 to 25 gram limit. One study showed higher muscle protein synthesis with 40 grams of whey compared to 20 grams after a full body workout. Another study from the same year indicated greater muscle protein synthesis from a meal containing 70 grams of protein compared to 35 grams. While the exact limit of protein utilization per meal remains uncertain, it appears to be higher than initially thought. However, I emphasize that the importance of protein intake per meal is likely less significant than total protein intake throughout the day. What are the highest quality proteins? The quality of proteins is partly influenced by the amount of the amino acid leucine. Leucine is crucial as it acts as the trigger that stimulates mTOR, initiating muscle growth. Let's examine the leucine content in various protein sources to understand how much you need to consume to reach 3 grams of leucine, a value considered a reasonable benchmark for maximizing the anabolic response to a meal. The table illustrates that whey protein stands out, requiring only 29 grams to provide 3 grams of leucine. For 145 calories, You can also get 3 grams of leucine and 40 grams of protein from chicken breast, costing about 200 calories. On the other hand, it would take over 2,000 calories worth of whole wheat bread to achieve the same 3 grams of leucine. This highlights the significant difference in anabolic impact between a serving of whey protein powder and a substantial amount of bread. As a general trend, animal protein sources tend to be richer in leucine compared to their plant-based counterparts, especially per calorie. However, this distinction becomes less pronounced with the introduction of vegan protein supplements such as soy, pea, and brown rice isolates, which also offer 3 grams of leucine for less than 200 calories. While leucine is a critical factor for protein quality, it's not the sole consideration. Building new muscles requires all 8 essential amino acids. Protein quality is not considered a significant concern as long as individuals meet their total daily protein needs. Post-workout protein timing. The notion of consuming protein immediately after a workout to avoid wasting the exercise session has been debunked for years. In reality, as long as your pre-workout and post-workout meals occur within roughly 4 to 6 hours of each other, you'll be maximizing the anabolic response to training. A possible exception to this recommendation would be if you train in a fasted state, in which case it would be advisable to consume some protein as soon as possible after the workout to optimize the benefits. Thank you for watching! And I'd like to recommend to you some delicious new smoothie recipes that I've been enjoying and have been very helpful in my weight loss diet. If you're interested, the link is in the first pinned comment of the video. Share this video with your friends and family. Feel free to leave your comments, and most importantly, have a great day.